and welcome back to Blue Flag Bandits, the series that drives F1's worst car since 2010, so you don't have to, in the often pretty desperate hunt for points. And contrary to what I said at the end of the last episode, it's the Hungarian Grand Prix this time, not the German Grand Prix, that's next. And we come here off the back of finally picking up a point at Britain in a topsy-turvy British Grand Prix that we had to work to pick up that solitary point, and we may have had another run-in with Kimi Räikkönen and another run-in with Pascal Wehrlein, and as you can see, we're on the fringes here of losing our rivalry to Fernando Alonso. I don't think there's anything, unless I win everything in terms of the battle, so that's highest position, I think it's highest position, fastest first, second, third sector, podium, penalty free, unless he gets 0 and I get all of them. Probably going to lose. We might draw, but it is looking unlikely. But that doesn't matter. We came out with the last round with a point, like I say. First point on the board at the Silverstone circuit in the entire series. It's taken a long time, but we finally did it. Lewis Hamilton won that race, and as such, he is 45 points clear of Max Verstappen, who had a 4th place finish. Kimi Räikkönen finished outside the points in his 3rd, Dennis Rosberg, Vettel, Ricardo Bottas, Perez, Button and Masi are top 10. We are not a million miles off that top 10 in 12th, but we are a little bit behind. Nico Hülkenberg separates us and that, and we are just 4 clear of Fernando going into this one. And it's Carlos Sainz, Daniel Kvyat, Pascal Wehrlein, Kevin Magnussen, Jolyon Palmer, Gutierrez, Nasser, Ericsson and Grosjean yet to score, though Nasser, we deprived him of a 10th and then he fell backwards even further. Mercedes lead the Constructors by 62, ahead of Red Bull, who are 4 clear of Ferrari. Dennis Williams, Force India McLaren, we're in 7th, comfortably ahead of Toro Rosso and comfortably behind McLaren. Renault are the last team with points on the board, and then it's Sauber and Haas, who are yet to get off the mark. They need to find something if they want to. We're going to Sauber next season as well, so yeah, that'd be great. But it is currently 10 rounds in. 10 rounds in, having to flick through to work out. It's looking like a Lewis Hamilton title at the moment. He is looking superb this season. Obviously, Nico Rosberg took the Real World 2016 title, but he took our 2015 title. So it might be that they're just trading off before Rosberg saunters off into retirement. But the Hungaroring then, a circuit that's been on the calendar since the late 80s. One that the drivers seem to really enjoy, but it is difficult to overtake Monaco without the wall, to say it every season. And a circuit that I've not always had the best of luck in, particularly when we've seemed semi-competitive. Though last season, a little bit of an outlier, I guess. The McLaren just strong enough. We have had 2 DNFs here, which was all of the DNFs that we'd had. Oh, well, 2 of the 3 DNFs we'd had all the DNFs we'd had, going into this season. We've had 3 DNFs this season. So, and both of them, I think, were on the entry to the pits, which is a worry, because it feels like we could probably do it again here. But it is somewhere I've always struggled to pace with. Last season, like I say, a bit of an outlier. Took points in the McLaren. It was our first points in Hungary last season. We've just taken our first points in Britain. Can we make it 2 out of 2, or 2 out of the last 3 for McLaren, for points at the Hungaroring? That would be nice. But this is going to be a really tricky weekend, I feel. Just because I never feel comfortable here at the Hungaroring. I just never quite get into a flow. So we might also find ourselves out in Q1 for only the 2nd time in the last few rounds, but we'll see. I should go practice though, seeing how the 2016 cars handle around here. While I do, we'll talk about the Real World 2016 Hungarian Grand Prix. Hungary is the next destination on the 2016 calendar, and there was a revision to the rules concerning pit-to-car radio after criticism of Rosberg's penalty last time out. The FIA toughened up the rules, stating that any car with an issue deemed serious enough for intervention from the team would need to park or pit to retire. This prompted more criticism, Vettel being particularly critical of the regulations. The opening practice session saw a damp start before the track dried out quickly as the temperature rose. Charles Leclerc, who was running for FP1 for Haas, span at the chicane while Wehrlein had to scrap a run where his man got stuck on the pit limiter. Hamilton would lead Rosberg and Vettel by the end, Hamilton over a second and a half clear of the Ferrari. Hamilton wouldn't have it all his own way in the second practice session though, as he had a snap of oversteer at turn 11 ending up at the barrier. The red flag was flown, but he was able to make it back to the pits. Rosberg would end the session at the top of the times, the first time since 2013 that someone other than Hamilton topped the practice in Hungary. Ricciardo and Vettel would complete the top three. Practice 3 was a much less stressful affair for Hamilton, save for having lap times deleted at turn 4. He would, however, find himself behind Rosberg and both Red Bulls, the Bulls showing their pace prior to qualifying. Qualifying was delayed as a deluge hit the Hungaroring, the session kicking off 20 minutes late. Even when cars were allowed to hit the track, the rain continued to cause chaos, so much so that the red flag was once again flown. After another delay, cars once again headed out, but there was another stoppage when Ericsson aquaplaned off the circuit and hit the barriers. The final restart saw cars running intermediate tyres, but there was another red flag stoppage when Haryanto spun off. As such, Haryanto, Wehrlein, Ericsson, Magnussen, Massa and Palmer were eliminated. There were 11 drivers were outside the 107% time due to the mixed conditions. Q2 began in intermediate conditions, but wouldn't be long before the switch to dry tyres after Bottas smashed the quickest lap time. This triggered a frenetic series of laps as conditions improved, with Grosjean, Kvyat, Perez, Raikkonen, Gutierrez and Massa dropping out. While there was a dry line, there were plenty of puddles and damp patches around the circuit, one catching out Alonso on his final run, compromising Hamilton and had to back off. Rosberg arrived on the scene after the yellow flags were removed, meaning he could improve his time, and he took pole ahead of Hamilton and Ricciardo. Verstappen lined up fourth with Vettel, Sainz, Alonso, Button, Hülkenberg and Bottas, completing in the top 10.
Pascal's currently P2.
Hamilton would be the Mercedes to get the better start, going around the outside of Rosberg at turn 1 while the German contended with Ricciardo. For a brief moment, the Red Bull had to split the Mercedes pair before Rosberg produced an equally brave move to retake second. McLaren found themselves running 6th and 8th, Alonso ahead of Button, but it wouldn't be long before the promising start unravelled. As Jenson Button's brake pedal was long, the team urging him not to shift due to hydraulic failure. This constituted assisting the driver by the stewards, who slapped Button with a penalty. Vettel would be the first of the leaders to pit, jumping Verstappen in the process, while Mercedes would move Hamilton to the soft tyre. The lead Mercedes was struggling on the new rubber, allowing Rosberg to close to within DRS range, but he wasn't able to find a way past his teammate on the tight, twisty Hungaroring. Further back, Raikkonen and Verstappen found themselves duelling as the race continued, Verstappen spending 13 laps stuck behind the Finn before their fortunes reversed during Kimi's final stop. Raikkonen attempted to move up the inside at turn 2, one which was blocked late by Verstappen, the Ferrari damaging his front wing on the back of the Red Bull. Traffic can often prove to be an issue in Hungary, and Hamilton had a close call with Gutierrez, giving the Mexican a single-fingered salute after the Haas refused to move after 3 blue flags, Gutierrez being given a penalty for his trouble. Even so, Hamilton would take victory ahead of Rosberg, and with it the lead of the championship for the first time in 2016. Ricciardo would complete the podium, while Vettel, Verstappen, Raikkonen, Alonso, Sainz, Bottas and Hülkenberg would take the points. Hungary hasn't always been kind to us, so this might be the first time this season we really struggle to compete. I did, however, think that would be the case in qualifying last time out, and we managed to get into Q2. Despite that, I do really struggle around here, so we're unlikely to get Q1. Let's at least aim for 18th and try and beat our closest rivals.
Good afternoon, race fans, and here we are again for qualifying at the Hungaroring. Who will have tuned the perfect setup for their car? We'll find out soon. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
Well, tyre management is key here, specifically the rears. It's all too easy to overheat and wear the rear tyres as they're punished out of the low-speed corners. Most teams won't be able to avoid some kind of issue here, especially the teams that are running less downforce.
It won't be easy getting out of this qualifying session, but see what you can do.
Thank you very much. And Crofty and Jeff. Jeff, they're saying it's not going to be easy to get out of qualifying, but the team want me in 15th. Okay. It is going to be tricky. This has just, as I said at the top of the episode, I just don't know what it is right here. I never feel comfortable, never feel like I can get into a rhythm, particularly sort of that mid-sector. Stranger things have happened this season now, and we have seen if I can just hook up one lap that I can sort of somehow pull a bit of a surprise out. This, though, might be a bridge too far. And it's also going to be really tricky out there with traffic, because cars are already getting out onto the circuit. So we better go and do the same to try and find ourselves a nice clear patch. Fingers crossed for a good result. Let's then look at our fastest lap in Q1, which actually was our first lap of the session, heading down towards turn number 1. Getting on the brakes nice and early, getting the car really turned in nicely and riding not quite as far as we could, but making sure we get on the DRS early and get the car straightened up to fly down towards turn number 2. Missing the apex quite a lot here, eventually getting the nose turned in, which compromises us a little in terms of swinging it back through 3, but we're okay there. As we head up the hill towards turn 4, you can take an awful lot of curb on the inside without being penalised, and that's exactly what we do to make our run to turn 5 a little bit shorter. Keeping it nice and tight once again, heading towards the chicane in the middle of the lap. Take an awful lot of the curb here, which actually unsettles the car a little bit. It means 2 attempts getting out of the chicane. Then it's this bit of the lap I really can never connect with. I can never get the flow around here. I can't get on the power early enough, which means we're losing time the further we go. Got on the brakes quite heavily in the end of the second sector. It seems alright, but again, not going that quickly. Ride the curve again, and then run a little bit wide in the second to last corner into the penultimate corner of the lap. Trying to run it outside so then we can get a nice slingshot line for the final corner. Turn a little too early though, which compromises us. Understeer a little bit wide, get on the DRS, we'll cross the line.
If
Not particularly strong.
Lap, let the car behind through. He is much faster.
Qualifying then, as I kind of expected, ends in Q1 in Hungary. Just no pace, realistically. As you can see, Nico Rosberg up top, Fernando Alonso in 3rd, Vettel down in 11th, Verstappen down in 9th. It's got a mixed up order at the top, but as you can see, we're nowhere to be seen. We are knocked out with Pascal, but a little bit behind him, just a couple of tenths ahead of Palmer, Magnussen, Ericsson and Nasser, which is kind of where you'd expect us to be pace-wise, so not too big a shock. But after the run that we've had, it's a little disappointing, but also kind of expected around here. Just not a circuit I click with very well. The race could be chaos, and it is tough to overtake here, so who knows what's going to happen. But let's cross to the race and see what it does.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well. Located 12 miles northeast of the Hungarian capital Budapest, the 14 corners of the Hungaroring are steeped in history and prestige. Overtaking has always been difficult on this technical 2.7-mile circuit, but the last few years in particular have turned up some exceptional races. Let's hope we're in for another one here today. With me to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who made his Grand Prix debut here with Minardi back in 2002. So, Ant, this is a bit of a special one for you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'd say so. I also stood in to commentate on Jensen's win in 2006, and as I was a test driver for Honda at the time, you can imagine that was quite an emotional Grand Prix. It's also a tough circuit on the drivers, this one too. Lots of long, slow corners that require a lot of patience from inside the car. Plus, it's a very downforce heavy circuit. I mean, it's all relative, of course, but if you're lacking a bit in downforce, or if you've got a bit of an imbalance in the setup, this is definitely one of the worst places to have to deal with that.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Nico Rosberg will start his silver arrow from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel and Bottas, Alonso, Raikkonen, Massa and Jenson Button, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Sergio Perez and Sainz, Gutierrez, Kvyat, Pascal Wehrlein and Amana, Palmer and Magnussen, Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Thank you very much there, and Crofty, and, well, down in 18th, quite a way down for the first time in a little bit. It wasn't the greatest of qualifying, but not the strongest of circuits for us. The rivalry with Alonso is lost, so him starting so far up doesn't really concern us. Beating Pascal then is going to be the aim, realistically. We need to try and keep that up, because for the most part this season we have outdone him. But we're going to have a slightly longer run into turn 1, and it's going to be chaotic. If the first laps of the last few races is anything to go by, we're probably going to see some incidents. We might see some cars rained, there might be some damage, there might be some contact, somebody might end up out, and there's probably going to be a safety car around here. The points are a bit of a distant hope. This might be the first time this season where realistically we're nowhere near them, but again, I've thought that a number of times this year, and we've always ended up in and amongst them, regardless of whether that's where we finish or not. So, lower midfield, I think, maybe just try and make a couple of positions. 16th is really going to be our aim. It just shows my complete lack of confidence around Hungary, and just the feeling that something could happen here. Finishing the race is always good here. As I said before, we've had 2 DNFs here in the past. We've had 3 in this season alone, so I don't want to make it a 4th around this twisty technical little circuit. Stranger things have happened though. We might come out of this one with one of our better results. Who knows? Let's see what chaos is about to unfold. Let's get the 5 red lights on and out again for the 2016 Hungarian Grand Prix. And the lights then 3, 4, 5, and away we go. The hold wasn't long at all. Somebody's had a bad start up ahead. It's Romain Grosjean. Saw him in 12th on the grid and thought this could be a good day for Haas, and he's had an awful start. We'll get down the inside. He's still ahead of us at the moment. We have to ride the grass a little bit. Somehow though, we've gained 8 spots off the line, and we might be ready to gain more as we move to the inside of Alonso. We're on the ultimate strategy to all these guys as well, by the seems of it. Up in 9th after that start, make that 8th. 10 spots off the line. Kept it clean, kept it trouble free. Everybody else seems to have survived as well. Nobody off the back of the pack. Made some moves and gained an awful lot of places. At this point now, things could start to go a little bit awry for us. It is tricky to overtake here, for the most part. different strategy by the looks of it. These guys behind us, it's just a long run from me to 22nd, I think. Keeping these guys behind us, really going to be the aim. Verstappen leads as we cross the line 8th. Massa though is going to immediately go for a move into turn 1. So the contact, I think there might have been a little bit. Well, there's contact up ahead, that's for sure. We're on the inside for 2, so we will stay ahead of the Williams. Bottas and Raikkonen might have had a bit of a coming together up ahead. Wide at the last corner, Massa this time. He's going to be past us.
In the DRS zone. Okay, some information on Bottas. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Sasso. There's an issue up ahead, so he's going to be a bit slow. Side by side with his teammate. Keep it to the inside. He's going to try and keep it to the inside for 3. Nudges us off the road now. Has to back out. Catch up to Bottas pretty quickly if he has an issue.
Our gap to our teammate is
DRS off Bottas. Massa gets DRS off us. Bottas though limping at the moment. I think it uses a rolling roadblock for us, I wonder. We're up to 7th. Pull away just for a moment. I think Williams would be on the radio saying, "Get out the way, Valtteri." Massa is moving through now. A little bit of breathing room, mate.
The gap to the leader is 13.
Right behind us. We're going to move to the inside. Force the Williams around the outside. It's wide. Has certainly held a little group up. It's just Massa on us at the moment, but can't make a move stick at it as it stands. So heading into the pits.
We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one?
A couple of others in as well.
Understood.
We can
Copy
stick
that.
to our original plan here. People around us running super soft, so if we can run a bit longer, might be able to get ourselves into a better position later.
Hamilton's out in front. Right, some information on Hamilton. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Hamilton has a problem, he's out the front. Maybe that's going to affect him in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, but Verstappen is out.
It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car. Okay, the gap behind is 2.6 seconds.
The safety
We're
car
considering
is out.
switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to plan A? Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast.
Verstappen.
Reduce your pace. Copy
I'm
that.
going to stick to plan A. Not going to mess around. More pit stops, I don't think. Up to P4 thanks to Verstappen's retirement. Otherwise I'm going to be very much out of sync with everybody else. I think there was going to be a safety car in this race at some point. expect it to be just because of a retirement. I was expecting it to be because of an accident.
Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop. Okay, we can take you this lap.
Yeah, actually, take the opportunity to pull in.
Is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Into the mediums.
Complete, go now.
Cars will go past.
Only one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy.
Well, get out. 9. So we have. Alright, that might have worked out okay for us. One more stop to go, so I think that's switch back to the softs later on in the race. That's what's set next.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
About to go racing once again here at Hungary. Inside the points. We come back to the line. See the track positions. Airline actually inherited our 3rd spot. The green flag is flying again. A couple of people up ahead of us haven't stopped. A couple of people have. Get the final corner. Compromises our run.
First place is 2.5 seconds.
Being made ahead. Who's being made behind? Fairline potentially being a bit of a cork in the bottle for some of these guys. Palmer as well potentially. As well, go to the inside of Vettel, who is behind Palmer. Kind of bump drafting the Renault a lot. Vettel though sends it back up the inside. Magnussen a run. Over the curb we go. Not deemed a corner cut. Not deemed an illegal move, so we keep it P8. Palmer's next. Vettel staying right on us, as you'd expect.
Right, some information on Hamilton. It seems they fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed.
Definitely moving back at his normal pace. That's to say, rapid. Raikkonen stuck behind Verlaine. Ricciardo stuck behind Hulkenberg. We're seemingly stuck behind Palmer. Bump draft the Renault a little bit. There's his slipstream to stay in front of Vettel while also going on the attack. Vettel does give us a little nudge, but it's not enough to unsettle us. We go to the inside of Palmer and we're through. Back into P7. Fairline's lost a spot, I think, up ahead. Verlaine and Hulkenberg are in. The curves. We run wide at the final corner. Palmer, I think, has stayed out.
Pascal has come into the pits.
Still
Pascal in the pits now.
in front
Okay,
of
the
Vettel.
stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Up to 5th. Fairly good going so far. They got past Palmer. He's chasing me down. He's much, much quicker than me at the moment. Strategy, so I don't know if this fight is really
distance to
necessary.
17.8 seconds.
There's our race, but I want to make it easy for him. On the back of the 4-time world champ. Not 4-time world champ in this series, is he? No. 1-time world champ, 2011. And that was only on countback. Palmer has finally pulled in. Perez is now the man behind us. Let's go on the softs, I like Vettel, so you'll probably need to come in before we do.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.4 seconds.
Much as our lack of pace, the chasing pack has caught us.
So the gap to our teammate
Perez was
is
leading it, but I think he's
15.0
pitted.
seconds.
Alonso, the man now leading the chasing pack. So he's on the same sort of strategy to me, though. Run wide. I was just checking behind to see who it was. It was Alonso, Sainz, Massa and Bottas. Oh, and Alonso pushes us into the wall.
Damage to the front wing. We're seeing a significant loss in downforce. We think there's a viable strategy.
Just about to get across the circuit.
Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one?
No idea what the strategy is, but I think Alonso might have just punted us out of points. Change the front wing. Looks like we're going on to the soft tyre. Just last to the end.
Release.
We're down to 19th. Apparently expected to stop again right at the end of this race. Daniel Ricciardo, eh? That's the safety car once again.
The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta.
Both Red Bulls are out of this race. And we now find ourselves back in it.
Pascal is in the pits.
They might not be quick enough for us to get by. Just about do. We just about get by Pascal. The 15th. I feel like these guys are going to want to pit again as well soon, as for some of them. Still be able to pinch points out of this one.
Conditions should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather. Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the first safety car line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Good racing again in Hungary. Not long left in this one. I feel like some, if not all of the cars in front of us need to pit in again. There's already a car heading in. Here's one of the Renaults. Just avoid that inside wall. Just the one Renault. Yep, Magnussen heading in. So we're up to 14th.
The gap to the car behind is 0.6 seconds.
Magnussen pitting in. Actually creating a bit of a gap between this little pack and the lead pack. Just need to remain within a pit stop window. You can pick off some places, and it's just a case of holding them for the final few. Faster tyres as well. And some of the guys immediately in front of us, Palmer, Kvyat, Grosjean. Faster tyres and Gutierrez behind as well.
We're faster than the car ahead. Your best chance of making a pass is through sector 1.
Dive it on Grosjean, as Jeff says, try for a move in Sector 1 just at the start of Sector 2. Dive the Frenchman and we're into 11th. Points right there. And the Sector just has our momentum a little bit. Kvyat need to come in again, I wonder. Who else further up for that matter? In.
Pascal has come into the pits. Pascal in the pits now. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
I'm not really sure where to go. Doesn't make a move at the end.
We're only a second away from the car ahead. Let's see if we can use DRS to pass him. Your DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
I found out who the person who pitted behind us was, or in front of us. It was Nico Rosberg. As him and Grosjean go side to side. Rosberg actually nudges us. Sideways. We lose a place to Grosjean. We have DRS on Kvyat, but our DRS is broken as we... Yeah, there we go. 3 second time penalty. I thought that was going to happen. Pushing too hard through that corner to just try and stay with Kvyat ahead. That, I think, is probably points gone. And to our last lap of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and one that, once again, and the points look like we could have had a really solid race. We had an incident with Alonso, which knocked us into the wall. Get repairs done. Safety car brought us back into it. But we've just seemingly not had the pace here. With a 3 second time penalty hanging over us as well, so we're likely to lose at least one position. We had an incident with Rosberg late on in the day as he was trying to get back past us. We are low on tyre grip towards the end. Just trying to ease out. Not have to make a late stop. Still going to be, I think,
low chance of rain now. If the situation changes,
where
we'll let you know.
The team's objective after a poor qualifying. Lewis Hamilton now takes yet another victory. With Verstappen retiring. Rosberg out the points. He is making big strides towards the 2016 World Drivers' Championship. We're going to aim the final corner and we'll cross the line 12th. I think we're probably going to end up about 14th.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'm going to go for Marcus Ericsson. He's clearly got a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, and he's matured a lot over the past few seasons, which served him well today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
Well, that's the Hungarian Grand Prix over and done with. Lewis Hamilton takes the win ahead of Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel. Alonso up in 4th. Then it's Bottas, Perez, Massa, Sainz, Button and Kvyat in the points. Haas agonisingly close to their first points of the season. 11th and 12th in the end with our penalty, which dropped us down to 13th. Ericsson in 14th ahead of Nasser. And there's Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Rosberg down there after his incident with us near the end. Palmer 19th. Pascal down in 20th and last. Ricciardo and Verstappen both do not make it to the end, which is a massive blow to Max's championship challenge. As you can see, he's 70 points behind now, and just 2 clear of Kimi Räikkönen. Hamilton looking comfortable at the top. Vettel now to within 9 points of Verstappen as well. Rosberg didn't score and slips behind his countryman Bottas, and then Ricciardo, Perez, Button, Massa. Alonso moves up to 11th ahead of Hulkenberg. We slip to 13th, but still comfortably ahead of Sainz, Kvyat, Wehrlein, Magnussen and Palmer. Gutierrez, Grosjean, Nasser and Ericsson don't score still, but both Haas cars move in front of both Saubers, which means in the constructors, well, actually, Sauber remain in front of Haas. On count back, at the top though, Mercedes lead Ferrari now by 58. Red Bull lose a chunk of points through not finishing. Williams are 4th ahead of Force India, McLaren, us, Toro Rosso and Renault, and then it's Sauber and Haas. And yet, you know what? We made gains in that race. We actually moved forward. We were in the points for a bit. There was an incident, a safety car, and another incident. We've come out of that with a 13th, which is a fairly middling result. But a middling result at Hungary is actually sometimes more welcome than a really terrible one, because it's a circuit I just do not get on with. Next time, though, it is this time, after what I said in the last episode, the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, a circuit that we've had good success at in this series so far. In fact, took a podium back when we were driving for Virgin Racing, back when we were driving for this team, back at our first season. Is it going to be quite as strong? Well, this season has proved that we can mix it among the points pretty much every round. It's just a case of actually claiming them at the end of it. Can we do it? Tune in next time to find out, eh? Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. It was a bit of a tricky one, but we got to the end of it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.